Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. All right. Good evening. Good evening. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. All right. So much going on here. I think that it's time to put some things in perspective. I tried to do that with the last video that I did. I tried to put some things into perspective. And nobody caught the hint. Nobody caught the hint. It seems as if Rudimp is paying attention, but the rest of you aren't. You see, we can hold people accountable. We can definitely hold people accountable. However, the only person that you can truly control is yourself. And I've been saying this for I don't know how many years on this channel. So why are we still talking to Rude? Let me just go ahead and just throw that out there. Why are we still talking to him? See, in the last live that I did, I took great care to point out that the man did the time. So he was already thrown into a prison. He may not have served the time that we wanted, because I'm hearing that he only served like 1 week and then he was released to his guardians. Okay, that's one story. And then according to the report, though, it says he served 48 months. So we will never know what the real is. I myself, I trust what the paperwork says. Now that we have that information, that he's done the time for the crime, whether or not we believe his version of things is now the issue. There are people that believe what he had to say. They respect him for, whatever reason, and they choose to support him and rock with him. Once again, everybody has a choice. And I myself said it's a no for me. That's my choice. Respectfully. Everybody has a choice. There are some people that choose to keep poking and poking at this. That's a choice. That's your prerogative. Let me know how that's working out for you. Today, I listened to quite a few live streams where people were discussing it. Nothing wrong with discussing it on your own platforms, but here's where I believe, and I'm not telling nobody what to do because y'all grown, but here's where I believe a lot of people go wrong. See, me, I personally am like this. Once I say I ain't fucking with you no more, that's just what it is. I'm not going to your channel. You can't hit my link anymore. That's it. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Just like in the example I gave yesterday of when you're dating someone and you decide to run their information through a database. I think it's pretty smart. And if there's some things that are deal breakers there, then you have to make a choice. Either you're going to still keep fucking with them or you're not. Now, I can understand questioning because that's what I did when Rudimp came on my panel the first time. We spoke respectfully. We asked our questions. We got all our answers. And at the end of the day, we all had to decide whether or not we believed what he was telling us. CK said no. D-Darrell said no. I said no. And with that, we made our individual decisions, whether or not we were going to continue to keep fucking with this guy. Because after that, there's no additional conversation needed. But I don't understand what will come of people who have already interviewed with this guy, people who have already heard interviews that others have had with this guy, and people that have already gone to the database and ran his information. Okay, why do you want to keep fucking with him? This is why I said last week, not last week, a couple of days ago, I said this. The elephant in the room is separation. And the mere fact that some of us are having a hard time not letting him up on the panel means that we're having a hard time separating. And I'm talking to those of you who claim are completely outraged and don't want to have nothing to do with the guy anymore. See, I'm outraged. I ask my questions. I say, separate. We don't have a heaven or hell to put this guy in. We can't throw him. We don't have a jail to put him in. We can't make him redo the time. And it is something that happened so many years ago. So when you do you run the report and you do the background check, you have to do what any bank institution would do if they ran your credit report. You have to do what any institution would do if they looked at your credentials on a resume. If you were going for a job interview, they have to either accept or reject. And see, this whole situation is kind of putting a highlight on certain things and certain activities. You all are the ones that have a problem letting him go. So you might as well just say, fuck it. I'm going to rock with him because I still want to talk to him. And, I'm going to huff and I'm going to puff and, blow the house in. You're not accomplishing anything at the end of the day. You would accomplish more with silence and moving on with your channels. And just, not looking back if you decide that you're not messing with them anymore. Now, for those that want to fuck with them, let them fuck with them. What I'm noticing is there are more men that's on the side of being upset about the whole situation than women. And they're upset that the women had decided to rally for Rude. But none of you are even paying attention to the caliber of women that would accept someone with this in their background and with the numerous amounts of charges that this person has in their background. These would be the low-hanging fruit. It's kind of like that scripture in the Bible that my grandmother used to read to us in Bible study. In that scripture, and I haven't read the Bible in eons, y'all, so correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a point where Jesus was in jail, and they were wanting to decide what to do with him. Now, they didn't really think that the charges against him were so bad that it garnered crucifixion. So what they did to try to, kind of, go light on Jesus, they decided to go to the people, and they picked the worst of the worst criminals that they could find. Because usually they give amnesty to one criminal per year. So they tried to give Jesus amnesty, right? So they put him with his little charges up against Barabbas. Barabbas was a murderer. He was a thief. He was a rapist. He was the most horrible of the horrible. He was a demented sociopath. Hell, not even a sociopath. Barrabas was a psychopath. But the people disliked Jesus so much that they chose to exonerate a psychopath. Now, in a parable that my grandfather, who was a minister, told to his congregation, he said Jesus stood for the truth and Barabbas was the lie. So the people rejected the truth and they embraced a lie or a liar. The women of this sector chose the liar. They chose a lie over the truth. And so now they are happy over there with Barrabas. Thank you, T Living Life. Actually, I'm a night owl. I have problems with insomnia sometimes, so it takes me a while to get to sleep. So actually doing these lives at nighttime kind of hit right for me. But they chose the lie. Now, like I said, going back to what I said earlier, look at the caliber of women that chose Barabbas, and in this case, Rudemp. These are the low-hanging fruit. See, I don't know what it is about the low-hanging fruit of society that's so appealing. Is it because the low-hanging fruit is so easy to get to? Like it's right there within reach. You can just reach out and get it. But that's what you all are angry about. You're angry about the low-hanging fruit that's laying. Some of the fruit is not even hanging on the branch anymore. It's falling off the branch onto the ground so that anything that creeps and crawls on the earth can slither on it. And you all are crying about that. Oh, the women are over there mollycoddling him. They're protecting him. They're choosing him. They're doing this and that for him. Why are you concerned about what the low-hanging fruit of women are doing? Exactly, Demetrius Higashikata. None of this is surprising. And some of that low-hanging fruit comes from a manufacturer. Some of that low-hanging fruit was sprinkled on the ground, propped there to be exact. And you all are crying about it. That's just like if I was eating a Hershey bar, dropped it on the ground, walked away, and a bum walked up and grabbed it. And now you're complaining because the bum has the half-eaten Hershey bar that was laying on the ground for an hour. Just think about how much sense that makes. When you can get a fresh, brand new Hershey bar for $1 inside the grocery store that nobody has opened, nobody has eaten, and nobody has thrown onto the ground. That bum actually did you all a favor because he got rid of the trash that was on the ground. So the moral of the story is, do not cry over trash. Let's see. Demetrius Hagashikata says at the Faith Factor, to be honest, Faith, whenever concerning Rue, people have said that they know Rue is a F-boy and mannish, but they always say at least he show us who he is and we F with him. That is what the low-hanging fruit would say. That is exactly what they would say. So now that you know the mentality of what's inside of a woman's head and what she would and wouldn't do and what she would and would not accept, would this be somebody that you will want to put a ring on their finger and have representing you? Is the question. Hell, would this be somebody that you would want to even connect bodies with, let alone marry, knowing where she's been? And see, I have to go back and put a little bit of the onus on you guys for your thought processes. Last night on Rue's channel, when he was on there talking, there were a lot of young women that I believe was sent from Nyla and Taz's camp. Shout out to Jerome Rightside for pointing that out. And there was one man, I forget his name, that ran up on the panel because he just took one look at all the pussy that was coming up on the panel to praise and worship Rude. And he began to fanboy out for Rude. And even China White had no respect for him and his groveling. You all have got to stop falling for the okie doke and drinking the Kool-Aid. Exactly, Demetrius. Rue is the same guy who hit on a dude's wife in front of him. So clearly he has no integrity. I don't know why you trust someone like that. Exactly. Um, I don't know what you doing, RBI, but I'm gonna go ahead and put you in timeout. Don't advertise on my channel. You all have to think 10 paces ahead, and I don't see people doing that. I don't see people thinking 10 paces ahead at all. Like even the women that were sent over there, they're sitting up there telling Rude, oh, Rude, you know, it was only 11, it was so many years ago, it was 20 plus years ago. You know what? You did your time. Maybe you could talk to the children. What's up, D? Even Rude Demp had to correct these women. That's how silly and dumb they were. Even Rude Demp had to correct them, saying, hey, I'm not the type of person that should be talking to children given my background. Idiot. He left the idiot part off, but I knew he was thinking it. Even he thinks they're idiots, but you all want them. Just make me understand, how is it that Rudemp knows, even he knew that they were low-hanging fruit, but you all are lamenting about it? Well, RBI, if that wasn't an advertisement, I apologize. But I'm having a serious conversation over here. Please don't deflect. Thursday Lane says, whenever you go out looking for rain, you will end up with the floods. Perhaps. But more importantly, Rudemp did us all a favor, guys. He did us all a favor. It's kind of like, I don't know. You're getting ready to get married. You're standing at the altar and you're looking the guy in the face and you're like so happy, so ready to, you know, I don't know, skip off and over the rainbow into happiness with this fella. And when the minister says, if anyone has any objections to these two getting married, speak now or forever hold your peace. And the best man steps up and says, I object. Me and this man, we're in love. We had a relationship 26 years ago. And I love him and I know he still loves me. Now, do you sit up here and lament about that? Or are you grateful that you dodged a bullet? Me, myself, I would be falling to my knees thanking the best man. Thank God I dodged a bullet. When these women run up on Rude's panel, fangirling out, throwing the panties up, look at the caliber of women this is and ask yourself, would you want to be bothered with that? They're dumb. Like I said, even Rude had to correct one of the silly broads. He's not even impressed with the women that ran up on his panel yesterday. Now, if anybody has ever heard Rude interact with women before, he's very flirtatious, playful, and he goes into great depths to get into their minds and their psyche. You didn't see any of that. He gave them very short answers, and he wasn't impressed with any of them because none of them present any type of challenge that he wants. But you all want that, though. Like I said, this is very revealing of a lot of you as well as Rude. Demetrius Hagashikata says he ain't do me no favors. To be honest, it shouldn't have just been this that caused people to abandon Rue. It's the same dude who don't mind his woman friends finessing men even though it's dangerous. Facts. Facts. And see, the whole dialogue that Rude is using is it happened 20 plus years ago. And I agree, something like that happened that long ago and he did his time, it's one thing to know about that. It is part of his history and it should be taken under consideration. But it needs to be taken under consideration with his current actions, which that is what people are doing. Rudimp have said plenty of stuff on his platform that correlates with his criminal past. And so that is what I'm going by. I'm putting the different things that I've heard him say on many different panels, that I've heard him say myself on his own platform, and I am correlating that with the criminal past. So nobody's just judging you, Rude, based off the past. The past has something to do with it, but we are also judging you based off of things that you have done since you were a man, a grown man. Like telling a man's underage daughter that you would want to put your penis inside of her. All the inappropriate things that you've said and done on this platform as a man. And we are comparing it with your history. And when you put two and two together, not much has changed. So it's not just about the past, because we understand that you were a kid back then. But we want to know, did Rudimp mature into a man that has a healthy mindset? So does a man with a healthy mindset say and do the things that we've heard Rudimp do over the years? That is the question now. And this is going off Rudimp, the man. Rudimp, the 36-year-old, not Rudimp, the 11-year-old. Because as he keeps pointing out, he did the time. Yes, you did. We don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. This is true. The only thing we can do is we can control our individual selves. Individually, you take in that information and you make the decision whether or not you want to deal with this guy anymore based off things that he's done since then. And he continued to commit crimes after the fact. Even though they weren't the same exact thing, we have a pattern of criminality here, along with the horrific things that he has said and done on this platform. So no, that's not a man with a healthy mindset. That's a man that really needs to get off YouTube and go seek some counseling. But once again, he's grown, and that is his choice. If he wants to stay on YouTube, that's his prerogative. If he stays on YouTube, ain't shit none of us can do about it. Now, if he goes to your platform, you can make it extremely uncomfortable for him. Yeah, absolutely. You can control that on your channel. If you see him in a chat room, you could make it uncomfortable him. That's your choice. You can control yourself, but you can't control him. It's at the end of the day, that's what I want everybody to understand. See, you want him to leave the platform. You can suggest that he do it. Everybody did. I did. CK did. D-Darrell did. David the asshole did. A lot of people did. But Rudimp says emphatically he's not going anywhere. That's his prerogative at the end of the day. And he's on his channel. If you drop a link in your chat room and Rudimp hits it, guess what? If you let him up there, then you have chosen to keep dealing with him. So now he gets to be on his platform, your platform, friendly platforms. It's business as usual. So you really did nothing. But if there are certain places that he cannot go, if he feels the stone wall, and this is what I'm talking about, you guys have the only power you have is the stone wall effect. But you guys are so horrible at that. You don't know what it is to stonewall anybody. Other groups of people, they got the stonewall effect down packed. The stonewall effect is now currently called cancel culture. If the masses don't like something, they simply don't fuck with you anymore. That's all you can do, people. That's it. And so if he doesn't feel the pressure of a stonewall effect, if he hasn't been blackballed anywhere, if he can still hit your link and you'll let him up, Nothing's changed. So basically, y'all just spinning your wheels, doing a lot of yelling, screaming, and grandstanding. And that's it. So Rude's right. He wins. Demetrius Hagashikata said at the Faith Factor, oh yeah, Rue also said he would let a guy who's like 19 or 20 to 22 date his daughter even if she was in high school. He really hasn't changed. Matured maybe, but changed no. Exactly. Rude has aged, but his mindset hasn't changed very much. And as Dita Rail said, not Dita Rail, Commendable K, as Commendable K has stated many, many times, a lot of times when these criminals go into these facilities, they just get better at their craft. Now, Rude Demp is sitting over there on his platform, and he's made a very valid point. He said, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you exactly what the world, the real world is like and how people think. Basically, he's saying you all don't understand why these women are over there rocking with him. He don't even respect them women like that. I heard him sit up there on that panel and say, you guys don't understand what it is. And when he said that, I understood exactly what he was saying. And the stupid women will never know that they're being disrespected. No matter what I do, these hoes gonna keep coming over here. Is basically what he's saying. And not all of them, just the dumb ones. Just the dumb ones. So, like I said, he's doing you a favor. He's actually weeding out the low hanging fruit for you. Every time you see a chick fucking with a fuck boy, you automatically know what her thought process is like. That's just the way I feel every time I see a guy with a low quality woman. When I see a guy with a low quality woman, I know what type of guy that is. Not my type of guy. I'm actually glad she took him off the market. Thank you for doing me a favor, sis. You're taking the low hanging fruit I do not want. But the problem is you all want the low hanging fruit. That's what the problem is. That's what the real issue is. Some of you are so thirsty, you will drink any type of water. You don't have any discernment to see which water is good to drink and which water isn't good to drink. The thirst is real. And Rude was sitting up there on that panel, and those women were like tall glasses of murky water to him. He didn't seem fazed at all. Go back and look at the live. His usual excitement when he's around women that he feels is more of a prize, His energy and his excitement was not there for those women. But yet and still, you had a fanboy get up there because he saw all the dirty glasses of water and he was so thirsty, he was ready to go dive in and get a drink. And another thing that I kept noticing when he was speaking that he would always refer to himself in the third person and shout out to Let's Troll. She was the first person to speak out on that. And I began to go back and re-listen to the stream. And I heard exactly what she was talking about. There were moments when he would say, "This is not rude," referring to himself in the third person. Rude this, rude that. And I caught it. You could say it's a narcissistic trait. You could say it's disassociative, disorder, that it has the elements of that. We're not therapists or psychologists. You could say that. I re-listened to the live that he did with me to see if I saw the same speech pattern. When he was up there with myself, D. Darrell, and CK, I noticed that there was a different speech pattern. He referred to himself as I. So when he spoke about things that happened, he would say, "I didn't do this," or "I this and I that." It could be a disassociation of Jarrell from Rude. So when he's around certain atmospheres where he's comfortable, he's himself. You're speaking to Jarrell when you hear him say "I," and when he's kind of quiet and contemplative, he will refer to himself as "I." He's not speaking in third person anymore. You're talking to Jarrell at that point. When you're talking to Rude, he's going to say "rude this" and "rude that." He's speaking about himself in the third person. He's disassociating Jarrell from the situation, and you are not talking to Rude anymore. What's up, Woman Sphere? She says, "Which one pulled a gun on his baby mama? I wonder." That might have been Rude. That might have been Rude. So if you guys insist on talking to this guy, know who you're talking to. Jarrell wanted to tell the truth. I was listening to him over there at Bomb Cherries when those women kept interjecting and jumping in every time he wanted to say something. He was on the brink of actually telling the truth, even when he was up there at Bomb Cherry's channel. It seemed like Jarrell was there at that point. He was very quiet, very contemplative, and he kept saying, "I did this and I did that," and they kept cutting him off. So if you want to continue talking to this guy, know who you're talking to. And if you approach him a certain way, you call yourself boxing him in a corner, you're only going to keep getting Rude. And Rude doesn't want to tell the truth. But Jarrell does. But at any point, he's too far gone now because he's being coached by Taz. He's being coached by Bum Cherry. So it's game over now. You guys are not going to get Jarrell anymore. Jarrell is gone. What's up, uppity Negro? Toenail. I'm Anika Mama Max. What's up? She said Rudemp equals redemption. Word play on the name. You know what? That's I never thought of it that way, Amanike. Redemption. Redemption of what? Now he said that this was something that had been hanging over his head for a long time. There's something that was weighing heavy on him. He said that what has happened to him, he said that happened to him was the worst thing that ever happened to him. And once again, I'm noticing that he's making himself the victim in all of this. And I want you guys to kind of peep what's going on. I don't believe that Rude is remorseful at all. I don't. I think that at this stage, he doesn't feel anything, guys. I don't think the man feels nothing. So, all of you YouTube therapists out here that think that you can fix it, you're not going to fix it. You can have 1,000,001 interviews with Rude or Jarrell, whichever one you get. You're not going to fix him. So don't even bother trying. The only person that can fix Rude is Jarrell. Let me say this again. The only person that can fix Rude is Jarrell. Not you, not me. Hell, at this point, I don't even know if therapies can help. But I would highly recommend that he get some. Now, he claimed that he's going to go and get some and then come back on here and tell us all about it. I don't know what that's going to do exactly for him, but he's enjoying all of this attention, by the way. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for feeding the narcissist. The only thing that people like him understand is no contact. That's the only thing that penetrates them. You cannot feed a narcissist attention. We keep giving this guy attention. And as for the victim, none of us can help the victim at this point. The only thing that we can do is bring awareness about guys like Rudemp that will tell an underage girl that he wants to stick his penis in his mouth, or tell an underage girl how did it feel when her father put his penis in her mouth. These are things that he has said and done since he was a grown man. Since he's a grown man, this is what he said and done. And he said more. There are archives of him with sound bites saying way worse. Exactly. Make it happen, man. He says, child, I'm sure he has other victims. I'm sure he has too. But I'm not going to stick around him to find out, is my point. The stone wall over here is undefeated. I'm not going over there, commenting in the comment section. He can't come on my panel again. It is it over here. That's pretty much all any of us that are against what we saw in that arrest record, his criminal report, can do. That's all you can do. And as for the women that protect him, they're disgusting. This whole situation is actually outing a lot of people. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of people are being exposed right now. Just like right now, those women, Bomb Cherry and Miss Oracle and Verbal and all those women over there taking up for Rude, they have called so many women in this sector mammies. I lost count of all the different. They call me a mammy. They call Mahogany a mammy. They call everybody that disagree with them a mammy. But lo and behold, when the shit hit the fan, when the rubber hits the road, when it get real, when it's no longer a test, this is not a test. This is the real thing. When the real thing happens, we find out they were the mammies all along. Ain't that a hootin' a goddamn holler? So a lot of people are being exposed here. And so that is the reason why I say Barrabus did us a favor. Barabbas exposed a lot of folks. The mammies chose Barabbas. They could have chose the truth, but they instead chose the lie. And like Dita Rail said, as far as any redemption it goes, Dita Rail is a licensed therapist and he's worked with this sort of thing for many, many years. He said that he actually got his start in the field working with sexual predators. And he stated that It takes years and years and years of intensive therapy for these people to become whole individuals who can function and have regular lifestyles. Years. So imagine if a person didn't get the therapy. Well, the result is what you see in Rude today. Today. This is the result of someone who didn't put in the work. So even though, Rude, you did your time, and I note that that has not gone unnoted that you did your time. We don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. This is true. Even though all of that is true, we are looking at your actions today, Rude, as Rude the man. Your actions today, they point to you not really being healed. So I don't know, Rude, about what you're talking about. Oh, I'm going to go and get some therapy and I'm going to come back online and tell you all about it. Or are you going to go get the therapy and then after the therapy session, come and tell us all about the session? It's sick. Even you saying this is not exactly healthy. But you're a grown man. You do what you want to do. Like I said, I'm done giving advice. I told you what I thought already. So, if that's what you decide to do, all I can do is step back and let you do what you do. And hopefully it works out for you. I hope it works out for you. I really do. Good luck. But as for the rest of us, for the rest of you, you can do what you want to do, but continuing to deal with this person, make videos about him, it's not going to really accomplish anything. Now, if you're making videos to bring about awareness and to warn people about covert predators, I was really shocked. Minister Jap did a 2-part video series about covert predators, and to my surprise, I found myself agreeing with a lot of the stuff that he was saying. Y'all should really go and check it out. It was pretty interesting. I usually don't listen to Minister Jack. I usually don't. But his video on the subject was spot on. It was very much so spot on. Okay, just going to ignore the person down here. And that's how you do it, folks. Like I said, when I say I'm done, I mean I'm done. Like I said, advice was given. You're a grown man, whether you take it or don't. That's your prerogative. Demetrius says, I've never listened to Minister Jap a day in my life. You might want to check out that particular video. I'm not saying, don't get crazy now. Don't get crazy. Because I'm not saying that I would watch all of Minister Jap's stuff, but I did watch that particular the two videos that he did about the covert predator. And he actually has some pretty good he actually put on a pretty good show and gave some pretty good information. And I could appreciate that particular work from him. Now, there are content creators on here that you may not listen to all the time, and a broken clock may be right once a day. Minister Jap actually got that part right. So just don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. But as for me, I'm not surprised at any of this. I'm not surprised. I'm not disappointed. I'm just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. People are revealing themselves. People are exposing who they really are behind the situation. That's how I take it. And guess what? I'm going to get up, go about my day like I normally do, and I'm just going to brush my shoulders off, and I'm going to go and live my life. Okay? That's what the rest of you got to do. Live your life, and you decide who you have in your inner circle. You decide who you want to deal with. Now, some people say this is YouTube, it's just entertainment. But even though it's just entertainment, there are certain sites online that I will not go to. Like, I don't go to child predator sites because that isn't entertainment for me. Okay? I don't listen to any more R. Kelly music because it's not entertaining to me to hear music from a pervert. So this is how Faith decides to conduct her life. Now, you can do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, we're all grown. Demetrius Hagashikata says, that's how I feel about Yanni and them. No, I'm just kind of tired, to be honest with you, of the whole conversation. It's not going to go anywhere. There isn't going to be anything productive behind it. Just constantly, you're constantly beating a dead horse. The horse, you already shot the horse in the head. We shot Rude in the head well, as I can say, Cluster shot Rude in the head. Cookie shot Rude in the head when she doxed him and came out with all of that information. And now we are beating the dead horse, is basically what I'm saying. The horse has been shot and now he's dead. And we're beating the dead horse. What for? What for? Now I can understand the initial shock. I can understand the initial hysteria. And now that that has all worn off and we know what we know, it's up to each of you to decide what you want to do with the information at this point. Demetrius, I don't even know why. I don't dox people, by the way, but in this particular situation, the doxing turned out to be, I guess, a good thing. I don't know. I don't particularly care for doxing. I really don't. Demetrius says, well, what is that, IG? Or it was info that needed to be put out like a public service announcement. Exactly. Who is Thursday Lane? This person, what the hell is this? He says, click your heels 3 times. I want you to believe in yourself. Okay, we're not in Kansas anymore. Okay. I guess is what you're saying. It's boring. I hate when people come in my chat room with this dumb shit. Just I like the people that just really come out and say what they want to say. The whole coming in people's chat rooms with coded messages that also is juvenile. Stuff that we used to do back in high school and grammar school. It seems as if being an adult is kind of a disappointment sometimes, with the way some of you all act. Oh, it's an inspirational robot. I was wondering what the hell that was, Demetrius. I'm like, what the hell is this? Okay, let me get this robot out of here. Can somebody get this robot? Oh no, I can block him. Okay, yeah, block user. Yeah, let me get that thing out of here. The hell is that? All these damn Russian robot. Oh, hi. Well, it is 12 midnight where I am now, guys. But I just came on here because I just wanted to say, it's especially to the men, you all are sitting up here upset about low-hanging fruit, basically choosing Barabbas. Give us Barabbas. Demetrius, you don't have a wrench? I thought I gave you a wrench. I'm not on my computer, Demetrius. I don't know how to let's see if I leave it on my phone and try to open it on. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. I thought I gave you a wrench. Okay. Okay, now you should have a wrench. Yeah, I'm on Mountain Time. Demetrius, I'm on Mountain Time. I know it's probably 1 or 2 o'clock where you guys are. So you guys are like up even later than I am. You're welcome. And thank you so much for being a channel member. I appreciate it. Oh, uppity is 3 a.m.? Good God. You all are up. I love all of you, by the way. You guys are up with me this early in the morning. Oh my goodness. I appreciate and love every single one of you. I'm Anike Mama Max. Thank you. All right, so let me go ahead and start winding down the stream. Now, of course, Demetrius Higashikata was the first person that commented in the chat room, so you know what time it is. All right, appreciate it, appreciate it. RBR, God damn it, I said. Oh no, that's an old comment. I was gonna say I thought I'm tired, y'all. I'm sitting up here reading old comments. Okay, it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Y'all up early. Oh, you woke up early. Yeah, that happens to me too. I'll get in the bed, go to sleep, and then I'll wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning for no reason. It's strange, very strange. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. And you know how I do. I like to give all of you my smooches. I love you. I will see you in the next stream. Peace. And I am out. Holla.